hot and humid out today, and we still, believe it or not, still are getting like this orange hue in the sky from all those Canada forest fires. It's just, it stinks, it smells, and it's just like hazy. I got Mad Max over here. Before we get into the bike about talking about 128, oh, there's Thunderdome. Love this bike. This thing's a beast. Anybody love Hayabusa content, hit that subscribe button. So our last winner from the Saddlemen Indy Ridge giveaway, he was out in Massachusetts. So we are going to be doing another giveaway. Saddlemen, one seat. There's the certificate, one seat of your choice. Anything you want, just go onto their website and pick out a seat and check out the brand new boots from Indy Ridge. These are the Knights Badass Box. Steve, the owner, he's always doing everything top notch. So these are the brand new Knight 3.0 ventilated. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful boot. It's got like a silver stitching, and I always tell you guys, and I've been noticing, and you guys been messaging me and emailing me, thanking me for telling you guys about the Indy Ridge products, because let me tell you, they are the best. So comfortable. There's like zero break-in period. You just throw them on and you go. They have a lot of ankle protection. They are the best riding boot out there. But these are the Knight 3.0 ventilated, and as you guys can see, all the perforation. Literally, if I put a light in there, you will see the light. These are for, like, I guess, late spring, summer, early fall. So this way your feet don't sweat, but badass boot. So we're gonna be giving away a free pair of boots and one Saddlemen seat, almost $1,000 value giveaway. All you got to do is head on over to my website, www.cycle-fanatix.com. Get yourself one sticker. For each sticker you purchase, you will get one entry into the giveaway. So if you get one sticker, that's one entry. If you get 5 stickers, that's 5 entries. So, and I will be announcing the winner when I'm in Milwaukee, July 16th. We're going to be talking about the 128 that is on Mad Max. All right, guys, so if you guys are new to this channel, this is my 2022 Road Glide Standard, which had 107 Stage 2 in it. Now I have the 128 Harley Davidson Screaming Eagle Stage 4 kit on it, and Get Lowered out of Pennsylvania. Get Lowered Cycles installed and did the build on it. Amazing job. All the links are down below in the description. Also, if you want to purchase any products, they have an amazing website, www.getlowered.com. So you could get, like, they have like over 19,000 different products for your performance bagger. If you use my code, it's down below in the video description. You get a free t-shirt and also free shipping. All you got to do is pick out a t-shirt, pick out the design, the size, put in the cart, and use my code, and it will be free, and you'll get free shipping. But this is what we did. It's a Screaming Eagle, and just so you guys know, Harley Davidson did supply me with the kit. There was a lot of comments about me possibly previously saying the 107 is fine and I'm happy with it, and honestly, guys, I was happy with it, and if I didn't have the 128, I would still be happy with the 107 Stage 2 with the 475 cam. It was definitely enough power. It sounded fantastic. I didn't need any more, and I'm telling you the truth, that's really how I feel. I didn't feel like I needed it, but obviously Harley Davidson gave me the opportunity to supply me with a 128 Stage 4 kit, so of course I'm going to do it. It's good content. I'm sure the majority of you guys like to see the bigger power, kind of, I guess that's what the channel's about. Performance baggers, it's always kind of been, that's what I'm into, but you don't need it, and I'm here to tell you again, you do not need it. The 107, let me tell you, it's a great motor, sounded great, Stage 2, put out just the right amount of power, and obviously it's super reliable with a Stage 2. So is this going to be as reliable? Like, honestly, I don't know. The determining factor in everything in these big bore kits is basically how well you keep it cool. You keep the temperatures down. So if you guys have been watching me for quite some time, you guys will remember that on Silverback, well, I started out, it was a 114. My previous bike was a Road Glide Special with a 114 with a stage 2. I had the 475 cam in it. Then what we did was we went to the 128 kit. And what happened was with that one, it was pretty much my fault. Like, I didn't have any type of extra cooling components on there, meaning like a oil cooler fan, right? So right now I'm running an oil cooler fan, but on the previous 128, I didn't have an oil cooler fan. I didn't have the love jugs. I didn't have any kind of fan on it to help to cool the added horsepower and the added heat. So whenever you add horsepower, heat comes with it. There's no other way around it. You start adding horsepower, even if it's from stock to a stage 1 or stock to a stage 2, you're going to add horsepower. Heat is going to come with it. Horsepower and heat go hand in hand. So that was kind of my fault, because I should have had some extra, obviously like an oil cooler fan. I should have had the love jugs, and I didn't. And what happened was we actually were going out to Long Island. I think it was like July or August. It was about 105 degrees out. I'm not joking. We were stuck in the Bronx, crossed over to GWB, stuck in the Bronx in traffic. There was nowhere to pull over. There was no shoulder. And we were stuck in that traffic for about an hour. Once we left that traffic and started entering Long Island, I believe it was Glenn behind me noticed that there was a lot of smoke coming out of my tailpipe. So that's when the damage occurred. So make a long story short, once they tore down the motor, we realized that the back cylinder right here, and that's usually where the problems occur, because the front cylinder is getting the majority of the air. The back cylinder is always going to run hotter. The back cylinder actually had a crack in it, and then that's when the piston actually was destroyed. The rings got wiped out. So that's what happened. And then we went from that 128 kit to a T-Man Performance 130 kit, which was on Silverback, which was amazing. 153 horsepower, 156 foot-pounds of torque. But on that bike, I had the oil cooler fan. Let me show you guys. This is the fan I'm talking about. So this is a Harley component, right? So this is the oil cooler with the fan, and that goes right there, okay? It gets plugged in. You guys can see the plug right there. But I do believe you have to get it flashed, because it's going to turn on at a specific temperature. So I do have that. If you guys, I don't know if you guys could see, but the fan is right there. The fan is on there. So I do have one fan on it. So the biggest thing is to keep the motor cool. I highly recommend, if you're going, even on a stage 2, I would recommend getting this fan on the oil cooler at a minimum. Now, if you're gonna do a higher horsepower build like this one, this bike right now, the 128 stage 4, has 141 horsepower and 137 foot-pounds of torque. Let me show you guys the dyno sheet. I don't know if I ever showed you guys this. So it's got almost 141 horsepower, almost 138 foot-pounds of torque. Look at that horsepower curve. It goes all the way to about 6,300 RPM. But what's amazing is this, on this build, so just so you guys know, the 128 Harley Davidson Screaming Eagle kit, it comes with everything. It comes with new heads, which have oversized valves. It comes with the new 128 cylinders, like these are new cylinders right here, new heads. It comes with bigger injectors. It comes with the 64mm throttle body. It comes with a torque cam, which is this one right here. Okay, comes with a torque cam, but that I didn't want to use that because that has, I believe it's got about either a 515 or a 518 lift. So we wanted to go with something a little more rough, a little more tough. So we decided to go with the 3/4 Star Racing cam, which has a 585 lift. So what they did was we also changed the valve springs on that to accommodate for that 3/4 Star Racing cam. But a lot of you may say, oh, torque's better or whatever. Me personally, I like to ride in the higher RPM band. There's a lot of people that don't. They don't like to ride from, say, 3,000 to 6,000. That's where I like to ride. That's where I ride. Everybody's different. For those people that don't like those higher RPM bands, they stay down, like say from here, 2,500 to maybe 5. But look at this torque curve. This is really interesting about this 3/4 cam. This torque curve, as soon as you pretty much hit the throttle at about 2,100 RPM, it shoots up. I'm already getting, at 2,500 RPM, I'm already getting 120 foot-pounds of torque. And then it starts climbing, but look how steady it is. Even at 6,300 RPM, I'm getting close to 120 foot-pounds of torque, which is insane. A lot of the other, you may say, oh, you should have got a torque cam. A lot of the other torque cams, they don't have like a flat torque curve. They kind of shoot up and then they kind of dip down. This one's pretty good. This one is literally like right across at like 135, 137 foot-pounds of torque. Plenty of torque. But what I like it is about the horsepower. Look at that, how it pulls almost to about 6,500 RPM, this motor now. And what's great about it is it still has the 107 crank. So this thing spins up. I believe the 114 has a longer stroke, a lot more shit in motion, you know what I mean? The 107 just seems to me, and I've had, I don't know, this is probably my 10th, 11th, 12th Harley Davidson, but the 107, it just spins up quicker. It just definitely spins up quicker. And now even with the 128, we kept the stock crank. This thing just friggin' rips, man, let me tell you. It's fast. The bike is a lot lighter. Some of you guys were asking me, is this one faster or is Silverback faster? Silverback had probably about 12 more horsepower than this bike and quite a bit more torque, but I will tell you this bike is a lot lighter. I'm going to just slightly estimate, probably this bike is probably about 60, 70 pounds lighter than Silverback was, because I had a lot of other things on that bike, like the bigger crash guard, the chin skirt. I had dual exhaust. There was a lot more going on in this bike. We were able to shed a lot of weight off this bike. You could check out those previous videos. When I started this build, I think back in December, so I've been only really riding this bike. I think I started videos really on this bike like January, where I was taking you guys to the all those frozen waterfall videos that I did. So in a matter of, let's see, 6 months, January, February, March, April, May, June, yeah, in a matter of 6 months, we were going on 9,000 miles. So, quite a bit. I'm definitely going to have anywhere from 20 to 30,000 miles on this bike by the end of the year. We ride a lot. Silverback had about 26,000 miles on it in about 14 months, even though I had it for 2 years, but it was in the shop for several months. So we do put a lot of miles. So obviously reliability is super important to me. It truly is, even though you guys may think, oh, why did you do a 128? Well, we know a lot of people that got in 30, 40, 50,000 and more plus miles on a big bore kit, on a big build like this. The main importance is how you keep this thing cool. So like I stated before, we do have the oil cooler fan on there. Now, you're probably gonna ask me, are you going to do another fan? Are you gonna go do love jugs? I still might, honestly. Just for that extra protection, because I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I might do the love jugs, or there's another thing that my boy Nadal just put on his bike, on his Road Glide. It's called the Ultra Cool Oil Cooler. It comes right here. It's got actually a little radiator. It gets mounted before the oil filter gets mounted right where the oil filter gets mounted to, and then you put the oil filter on top of that. It's got 2 hoses, runs up into the radiator, and then it has 2 fans. And they're suggesting that it actually cools the oil about 60 degrees. So that's a possibility. I might do that. I don't know if I would do the Ultra Cool cooler because it's actually like a unit kind of this big. I don't even know if it's going to fit on the Santoro Fabworks bar, or I might just put a set of love jugs on it. I'm not sure yet. So either one, I'm definitely probably going to do something because I don't want to take a chance. Another thing is, I strongly urge you guys and strongly recommend, if you guys have a big bore kit and if you don't have any oil coolers on it or fans or anything, do not get stuck in traffic. Absolutely not. If you see traffic building up, and if you think and if you see that you're going to be stuck in traffic on a 90 or 95 plus degree day for a long period of time, I'm telling you now, pull over, shut the bike down, wait for the traffic to die out, or just ride the shoulder. I'm being honest, ride the shoulder slowly and just get off the next exit and take a different route, because you're looking for trouble. Never, never, ever do a parade. If you get invited to a parade or to be a part of a parade, and if it is, and I'm going to say probably 80 degrees or more without any fans on the bike, do not go, because you're looking for trouble. Especially in a parade, because it's literally stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. No air moving over that engine. You're definitely looking for trouble. You're probably going to get into some trouble. So I would definitely forget about doing any parades in the really hot summer months, really hot temperatures, because yeah, you're definitely going to look for trouble. So as long as you keep it cool, I don't see, and I haven't seen any issues. I think I had about 17,000 miles on the T-Man Performance 130 motor on Silverback, and when I got rid of Silverback, it ran like a top. It ran perfect. I never had any issues. But like I said, I did have, on Silverback, I did have the love jugs on it, and I did have the oil cooler fan. Yeah, so that setup, get lower did, right? That's all done. If you guys are aware, I already have the Evolution Industries clutch basket, clutch assembly, Evolution Industries hardened ramp. This thing's a beast. I have the 3 red springs and now the 3 blues, because all 6 blues, Mike did see a little slippage on the dyno, so he put in 3 reds. You can do that mix and match, 3 reds and 3 blues. So the clutch is holding like a boss. I believe it is the best clutch system on the market. I'm telling you now, guys, even the stunt guys, most of what I see, they're using the Evolution Industries components. And then if you look here, we went to the Trask chain conversion kit with the stock gearing, nice black and gold chain. And we also went with the Kraus axle and Kraus axle adjusters. And what's cool is the shock actually mounts to the axle adjuster bracket. Really nice setup, and this way, whenever I do dump the clutch, I don't do it often, but whenever I do, you don't want that axle, and you know how it is. It has 2 cams on either side. They can get loose, and if that cam moves, your axle could move forward or tweak, and you don't want that to happen. So that's why we did that. We also did, a lot of you guys asked me, why did you do a chain drive? I just don't want to ever take a chance of snapping a belt. Now, obviously, the transmission is stock. We'll talk about that in a second. But the clutch setup and the hardened ramp is there. That's pretty much bulletproof. And if you do snap this belt, you have to take this entire primary off. It's about a 6-7 hour job. You got to take the back wheel off. It's a big job. Definitely you're going to have to tow the bike to the dealer or to a shop that could do it. Hopefully they have the belt that you need. So if I'm far away somewhere, I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to take that chance. I know there's more maintenance. You got to keep the chain clean. You got to keep the chain lubed. You also do lose maybe 1, 2, 3 horsepower with the chain drive system because of the added weight. But I'm not worried about, I wasn't worried about that, losing 1, 2, 3 horsepower. Like I'm really not a big stickler like, oh, I'll gain, for instance, like the air cleaner, I wanted it sleek so my leg doesn't hit it. But believe it or not, if I put on a different air cleaner on this bike, maybe go with like the HPI, the tunnel ram setup that they have, where the throttle body is actually outside, keeps cool, it doesn't and get hot by the engine. That could add anywhere from 5 to 7 horsepower. But I really don't care about adding another 5 horsepower. Am I going to feel it? Probably not. Do you feel it jumping from a stage 2 to a 128? Stage 4, yeah, because we gained probably almost 40 horsepower just with the big bore kit. So of course you're going to feel that. So anything else? A lot of people also ask me about the transmission. I'm not worried about the transmission. I had 26,000 miles on Silverback. I had a 114 stage 2, I had a 128 stage 4, I had a 130 stage 4. Rode the bike pretty hard, never had an issue. I think where the issue is where you are power shifting, and I see what happens, it's usually in third gear, where if the gears, if you shift and the transmission actually doesn't fully engage into third, that's when people are shearing the gears off of third gear. And then once you shear the gear in third, all those metal particles fall down into the transmission, and there's just a meltdown. I've seen inside of a transmission, my buddy Nick, that's what happened to him on his way up to Laconia, blew third. And again, once you shear those gears, all that metal drops in and it just wipes everything out. Again, I never had a problem with the transmission, so I'm not on the previous bike, so I'm not going to be changing that now. Other than that, the crank, some of you guys asked in the previous video, on the build video, there was about 8 thousandths run out on the crank. Well, Harley Davidson used to have a tolerance of about 6 thousandths. Then they moved it up to about 12 thousandths tolerance. So that's kind of where the max tolerance is right now, at 12 thousandths, and mine read about 8 thousandths. So Mike at Get Lowered was still okay. He still felt fine putting, obviously, the kit on. If it had 12 thousandths or more run out, then maybe we probably wouldn't have done it, I don't know, or maybe looked into getting a Dark Horse welded crank, something like that. But everything is fine with the tolerances that it had. And again, it's all about how you ride. If every day, every single day, you're going to beat on this motor, well, obviously something down the line, something is going to give. It's just how it is. It's not really designed like on a sport bike. That bike you could take to the track 30, 40,000 miles and you could just rip the living crap out of it. And that's just what it's made for. These bikes aren't made for that, to be honest with you. You guys know that. We are putting power into these bikes. The performance bagger genre, the performance bagger era is huge now. It's been huge for a couple of years. It's probably going to be huge for the next couple as well. But honestly, are these engines and is the rest of the components built for this? No, they're just not. And that's why you have to upgrade everything down the line, be prepared for that, to obviously withstand that power. So, I'm aware of that. I understand that. And, whatever, I'm bringing you guys this content, obviously, so it's entertaining. So that's why we get on the bike a little bit. I'm not, as you guys may think, I'm not at 6,000, 5,000, 6,000, 6,500 RPM all the time. If you see it a couple times in a video for brief burst, a couple few seconds, that's all it is. Once, obviously, I'm not recording or I got my footage already, I'm taking it easy. I'm riding the bike, I'm gonna say normal. Just taking it easy, enjoying the ride. But obviously, we gotta give you guys some good, interesting content, so that's why we do it. But again, if something breaks, if something happens, it happens. And we'll worry about it then, and we'll discuss it then, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do. But if you guys have any questions, and to answer the question, was it a mistake doing it? No, it's not a mistake. It's fun. It is a blast to ride. It sounds amazing, as you guys know. You guys hear my bike, on some meet and greets. We just did the Great American Convoy ride. A lot of you guys came out, and I appreciate you guys so much for that, to show some support. You guys know how it sounds, but it's definitely not a mistake. Do you have to do it? No, you definitely don't have to do it. If you have whatever it is, a 107, 114, 117, I honestly strongly recommend slap the S&S 475 cam in, nice exhaust, get the bike to someone, that is going to tune it properly on the dyno. Do not go with a generic tune. They're good for if you want to get from your house to the shop to get it tuned, but you don't want to be riding on that tune, because if it is a little too lean, you're going to be running really hot. If it is too rich, you're also looking for trouble as well. It could start doing damage to your motor. So air fuel ratio, it has to be perfect. And when you have your air fuel ratio perfect, the bike is going to run amazing. So definitely get it dyno tuned, but that's what I really recommend. Stage 2 SNS 475 cam on the 107, 114, and 117. You're gonna get amazing results. But if you're that guy that needs a lot more power, by all means, do it. Just keep the damn motor cool. And obviously I would highly recommend, before even the transmission, get that Evolution Industries clutch setup and hardened ramp, because you're definitely going to need it. And I would strongly recommend doing a chain drive. If you guys have any more questions, absolutely feel free, hit me up in the comments below. But this build is definitely not a mistake. Huge shout out to Harley Davidson, and huge shout out to Get Lowered for sponsoring the build. Head on over to my website, pick up a sticker, and get yourself entered to win those amazing products. Indy Ridge also has the best riding gloves. They just have the best riding gear. I know a lot of you guys, thousands of you guys, have been asking me about what kind of boots am I wearing, what kind of gloves am I wearing. It is Indy Ridge. All right, guys, so thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Right now, I'm actually going to be taking the Hayabusa out for a ride because it feels neglected. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.